me. Feed me more. Feed me more. The Ryback Show starts now.
Welcome to the Ryback Show Monday Live. I am the big guy Ryback. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Streaming on Instagram and TikTok as well. The big guy Ryback 22 as well as YouTube, Ryback TV, Ryback Rules on Twitch and Periscope and Twitter at Ryback. As always, this show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, premium supplements for men and women, sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No artificial sweeteners, no artificial colors, vegan friendly, available on feedmemore.com as well as Amazon, but you get the discount, the cool discount. We hook you up on feedmemore.com with discount code Ryback Show 20, Ryback Show 20, Ryback Show 20, Ryback Show 20 on feedmemore.com, as well as many other ways to save. We got a spin and win wheel, and we got my text message and email savings where you get exclusive deals like buy one, get one free, 35% off, 30% off random times on the text and email with a message of positivity once a week, no spam. So sign up for that. You can get 25% off a future order whenever you want to use that as well. You can keep that in your pocket or you can use it right away. Choice is yours, guys, on that. So check that out. That's it. Good to see everyone. Great day over here. Great workout today. House is nice and clean. Scar tissue in the shoulder has been really coming along. And I actually got to put out a new video for Bio Accelerator with a 6-month update on everything. I get a lot asked all the time, like, when do you think you're going to be back? When do you think you're going to be back? And honestly, it's frustrating to even get the question, but I understand the question because I'm doing everything in my power to, again, do something that has never been done before. And I understand that people probably can't grasp the situation at all. I've never let myself go in the situation. I've stayed in shape, even though if my body, obviously, like my chest and shoulders, I could tell are not as quite as developed as they were because I'm not able to, or I'm just simply not lifting the amount of weight that I used to until we get all this scar tissue to prevent damage of the joint, like bone spurs and things of that nature, which I've had cleaned out early on in this procedure process. And it's not painful or anything like that. But so we're getting close. I had a really good training day today, great training day. And today was chest, which I'm able to tell how the shoulder's feeling on the scar tissue we're breaking up in the rear deltoid. And it's really like I just every week I get more and more excited, but I also have to be more patient because it's getting to the point where I'm like, do I want to pick up the phone? Nope, not yet. We got a little bit more work to do. So I'll be posting an update on that, and shout out to Bio Accelerator. I mention them all the time on here. Without them and my stem cell doctor here in Vegas, I'm not where I am. I don't have my health back, and I'm nowhere near as happy as I am because I was in a lot of pain, and it's not a fun life being in a lot of pain where you can't even do regular everyday things and be reminded of the pain that you're in. So in a very good place mentally and physically, and I thank all of you guys for the love and support and following me along here. TikTok, we have hit 1.5 million. I'm actually tied with Lana and R-Truth. I didn't realize, I knew R-Truth was on there. I didn't realize how many followers he had, but he's also at 1.5 million. So we have R-Truth, Lana, and then we're tied for second, and The Rock is number 1. But The Rock, obviously, that's a whole other stratosphere altogether on that. But not too shabby for 20 months in. And I thank you guys. We're going to hit 355,000 on YouTube. The growth on here has slowed down tremendously with everything, but it is what it is. We keep on we keep on keeping on. And I apologize for the people that have notifications on that don't get them. I see messages on that, and I have no control over it, and it sucks. It really does. And I don't know why. I mean, I do know why it's going on, but I wish it didn't, and it will be resolved at some point in time. And all I could say is just try to check on the channel daily. I usually record at night for the Ryback Show. All pretty similar times on that, I feel like, at night. And then typically Ryback TV feeding time videos are released at 9 a.m. during the week. And usually it's 1 or 2 videos at 9 a.m. During the week on that. So, hello, John. Hope you're doing all right. I'm very sorry to hear that. I just briefly saw that message, and um, he is kind of down because it's been hard for him to get walking with his hip and losing his left foot. I'm very, very sorry to hear that, and I obviously can't relate to having to losing my foot, but I just know when I had my ankle injury, and I thought my wrestling career was done, and I was in a wheelchair for quite a long, long time, many, many months, and on crutches. And I would look around, and I would get down as well. I would see healthy people walking, and I wanted to walk again. And in that process, I realized pretty quickly that that mindset of looking at other people and being angry that they were walking was not going to benefit me. And I simply then just started focusing on the things that I was grateful for and trying to find the positives of everything. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's the only way to move forward. So, John, I hope. I honestly, I truly feel for you, man, and it's going to get better, though. And again, mindset. The things we're grateful for, our happiness is can be achieved in many, many ways. So, give it time, be patient, and I hope the hip is not too serious, and hopefully you could start smiling again and finding the things that make you smile and make you tick, and go hard in the paint on those things. Will Clark says, "Will we see the big guy?" Shifting topics here. Will we see the big guy doing the crate challenge? I tell you, you see that, and it's so I have, and I always had really, really good balance. I don't know if you remember or not. I won the NXT Jousting Challenge, which is all balance. Strength played a part in it, but you need to have balance. That was before my ankle injury, though. My left foot is not nearly as stable as it used to be, even though it's way better than it was. I would be very tempted to try that challenge just because I've always had really, really good balance, but I'm smart enough to realize that my balance on my left foot is not the same. And it takes delicate movement on those of not pushing them away. You have to be very vertical in your steps and coming down and coming up. You have to be very light-footed. And I already know with my left foot, for me to feel secure stepping on it, I would have to put my weight on it to how I balance on it. And I think it would end in a very disastrous fall. With that said, I see that challenge, and it's still I think it's tempting for a lot of people, but I would be smart enough to go, yeah, if it had a prize attached to it of like 5 million or $10 million, maybe I would be like, you know what, it's worth it. It's to give it a shot, and also get the video out of it. But at this point in time, nothing good could come from it. Even if I did it, people would say it's fake. There'd be something, right? Even though I did it. Or if I fall and like hurt myself and something happens, and then, what would be the point? There's been I haven't seen, like, I feel like every fall I've seen is pretty intense on that. Some people have really, really jacked themselves up pretty good, but I saw stores are now selling the milk crates. Snoop Dogg is keeping everyone keeping everyone up to date on those crate challenges, man. He has a hell of a social media Instagram. Super chat from Sonny Lamont. Big guy, I lost 33 pounds in 4 weeks. You're an inspiration. Thank you. Do you have any siblings and friends? Who do you recommend? Do you recommend 1 to 2 days juicing? I think so. As far as juicing, like fruits and vegetables, I do think it could be beneficial. I still think, ideally, consuming fruits and vegetables and getting all of the fiber and everything with the pulp is the most beneficial way to consume it. That said, I do think with certain vegetables and things to create some pretty good juices, and obviously it can be harder for people to eat a lot with depending on their schedule. And I do think it's beneficial in having, whether you have like a fruit drink and then a vegetable one at some time, or mixing the two. But I still think you need to be eating fruits and vegetables as well. My opinion on it. But I definitely think juicing has its benefits too. As far as I do, yes, on the siblings and friends. I do. Let's see. Was there another one I missed? Walter says, let me try to get this off the screen. Loved the Shaka Laka Nuts video. Saw the interview today. Very inspiring chat, Ryback. Question is, even though a little bit more, why are healthy things a little bit more expensive than the garbage food? Well, things like pistachios have always been more expensive. And it's just simply, as far as like something like pistachios, I just think that it's probably the demand for them and the people that manufacture them, that grow them, um, and in the that there's not like a plethora of them available where they could get the cost down. There's probably a limited amount of manufacturers or people that grow them and sell to the manufacturers and things of that nature. In general, food that is processed and bad for us is ran by these huge corporations that is much cheaper to make. And that's what it all comes down to. And it's there in a lot of these companies, they have the profit margins, and foods that also processed foods typically have more competition. And so they're always getting the price down, whereas there's not as much competition with the healthier food, at least not yet. And prices, they're just more. But as far as like the animal products and stuff in fast food, the government subsidizes that industry, the meat and dairy industry. Their prices would not be, they keep them in business, believe it or not. And that is the food. So that skews, that keeps that food dirt cheap. And then that's where you got to like look at things and go, well, why do they do that? And then you look at the ties and with the pharmaceutical industry and with medicine and the health industry. And you see kind of like it all kind of feeds into each other. And then you look around and in the Western world here, like the amount of people we have that are overweight and sick and suffering from depression or mental disorders and things that didn't exist on this level before. And then you kind of could piece it together. And you'll still have some people that don't care. They're like, whatever, that's blah, blah, blah. But you look at the facts, and those are the facts. So, but as far as eating healthier, if you buy the right foods and cook them yourself, eating is actually cheaper. And that's the key. And that's a big step for a lot of people. But once you learn how to do it, it really, really will change everything for you. I always do a little bit of stretching and warming up. As far as someone asking, do I do a lot of stretching before and after my workout? I do more stretching. Like if I once I'm back in wrestling, I've always had a routine that I would go through to get my body primed and ready to go perform. Um, and I'll do the same even when I do like my conditioning and like my sprints, especially when I'm running, because running is something where you're really, really you want to make sure your hips, your hamstrings, and your quads, and nothing crazy. But I go through a quick little warm up, and then like I don't run full speed on that. Like even on my assault runner, when I'm doing incline sprints, the highest I go on incline sprints is so far the highest I think I've made it to is incline 11 at 11 miles per hour. And you want to talk about that's pretty intense. Um, and that's not even me. I'm still not running full speed on that because I don't want to. I don't find it beneficial to me to max out sprinting at 290 pounds because I'm never going to be maxing out sprinting essentially. Um, Outside of like even in wrestling, you're not like maxing out sprinting in the ring. You might be explosive, and I do my training like that. Kind of, I keep it because I just look at everything from if I was in a sport that where I was sprinting and like I did playing football and stuff and baseball, and you're sprinting at times in between the bases and after hitting the ball. But with wrestling, it's a little different. So I've always kind of kept my training intact with that. But I do stretch and warm up. I'm not like I used to do a lot more stretching, and I found going vegan, my body became much more pliable and flexible with the inflammation gone from going vegan. What position did I play in football? So we were undefeated my freshman year. I was halfback, fullback, and then middle linebacker on defense, and also the kicker on that. Did everything, and that was all for my first 3 years. I was that, and then because I played soccer when I was a kid, so I was always able to kick. Uh, and then my senior year, I didn't kick. They actually had a guy. I switched schools. They had a guy that could kick farther than me, and he was big. He was like a 400-pound monster. This guy, and he was he'd been their kicker. He was a really good kicker, and that was like kind of his specialty. And then I was and they also had a fullback that was younger, and they didn't want. I was a senior. The fullback was a sophomore, and going to be their fullback for the next 3 years. And so I went to tight end, and started at tight end, and then defensive end, a little bit of middle linebacker still on that. They had a different defense too than my other high school, and then yeah, but yeah, I loved football, man. It was very easy for me. Healthy way to bulk up: pinto beans, red beans, black beans, and black rice. I just told a friend this the other day. You add that into your diet, it's easy to eat a good amount of that. It's very nutritious, very good for you. Getting a lot of fiber, getting the protein from the beans and some in the rice. And that would be my recommendation. Yeah, we definitely, not that we were, it's there. You got to look at the question is if you Google eat well guide, it shows how much of each type of food we should eat. And for me, this proves that we were brainwashed as kids to believe that eating meat is important. Yeah, and if you look on TV at the majority of the commercials, it's for all the junk food. It's for all the meat, and you got fast food places literally telling you eat meat. It's manly. where do you think this stuff? It's all been in the marketing from the beginning with that. And as kids, that's why YouTube has restrictions on advertising on certain things to kids, but TV is just showing whatever, and you've got kids watching these shows and getting shown everything from the cereals and the sugar and like to all the junk food and the fast food and the sodas. They hire. Why do you think they hire celebrities and big times sports stars like LeBron James to go do a Sprite commercial? Do you think Do you think Sprite is what makes you successful in life? Or do you think they get somebody that's successful in life and they look at it, well, I'm going to take this money, maybe I'll have one here and there, but they're not drinking that stuff to fuel themselves. You know what I'm saying? But kids see that, like, oh, that's the cool thing, Sprite or Pepsi, Coke, whatever. And they don't have the basic understanding of nutrition where then they get addictive and then they overdo it. Next thing you know, they're 350 pounds with diabetes. And they're like, well, why didn't I end up like LeBron? You see, and it's not but that comes, and there's nothing wrong with commercials and things in general. What's wrong is we don't have a nutrition education program overall to really, really help people, give them the tools they need to succeed. And there's a lot of people that are born into this planet from people that, one, their parents just don't care, or their parents aren't there. And then you have the people that are just misinformed or not educated as well. And so there's a plethora of human beings on the planet that aren't getting good information. And then they get brainwashed by that. And then those people have kids, and those people have kids, and those people have kids. And here we are. So that's why we kind of need to, and by kind of like, have to really, really start getting the proper information from a young age into their heads. And as we start to shift this world to a more plant-based, vegan, plant-based world, as well as, and again, the meats aren't going to go anywhere. They're just going to, whether you like it or not, the meats from factory farming, they're going to go out of business at some point. It's going to shift to the lab grown stem cell organic meat, chicken, fish, and they're already doing it at select places. And it's actually healthier because they can control the fat and some of the other things. And it's not, I think that's going to be the future, because even the richest people, the politicians and the lobbyists and the people pulling the strings, they aren't going to be able to pull the strings if the planet doesn't exist. There's some very strong warning signs that we need to change ASAP. So they'll milk it for everything they can, and then we'll see the shift. Money will get pulled out of factory farming. That will go out. That will completely be eliminated altogether, and the money will go into lab-grown meat. I promise you. Yes, we do ship to the UK. We have worldwide shipping, $34.99 worldwide for Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com. Exactly. We had a soccer star on a Red Bull advert saying he drinks it all the time. Yeah, and Red Bulls are absolute crap, as well as all the other energy drinks. That processed sugar and the sugar ones, and then they use the artificial sweeteners and stuff and colors and the other ones, and as do almost all of them, pretty much all of those companies. And it's in clever marketing, and yeah, they put caffeine in it, which is fine, but they use the absolute worst things with it. There is beta alanine in the Wake Up Unlimited Energy pre-workout as well. I love that stuff. It is phenomenal, increasing aerobic and anaerobic activity output. And I used to drink Red Bull when I was younger, and so this is why when I say this stuff is because this stuff all came out when I was younger, guys, and we didn't have this information. And I would always go before I'd go to the gym, I would buy the Red Bull and I would drink it. I'd buy two of them, the small cans at the time. And then they started making the big cans, and then I would get the big can, just drinking a ton of sugar in that. And then they used to sell a bunch of other stuff at gas stations. like ephedrine, that had no business. I mean, that stuff would wire you and had side effects. It could cause some heart problems in people. Um, and they eventually pulled that off the market, but there was no like restrictions on this stuff. It was being sold to everybody, and we didn't have the internet. It came out when I was in high school, like AOL, and you're able to start going online, but the information wasn't nowhere near like what we have today. Um, and I mean, it was just the beginning of all of this. So Red Bull gives you wings. Yeah, how important, Umer, is it to eat organic fruits and vegetables compared to the ones sprayed with pesticides and other chemicals? I think organic is just another word for normal. I used to hear that word when I was younger and think, oh, organic means you're weird. Why did I think that? I don't know. It was based off of stuff I'd seen clearly. Organic is simply just normal, that it's not sprayed with all these pesticides and chemicals, which have been linked to cancer and a lot of other health issues in people. Um, and that's so, yes, I do recommend whenever you can. Obviously, you never know what you're dealing with. That's why you always wash your fruits and vegetables really well. Your canned goods, wash them regardless, rinse them out really good. Uh, the only way you're going to know for sure you're not getting that is growing your own stuff. Also, I would recommend, like, we have a place. I'm going to start going there and checking it out. That sell. It's a big. It's an orchard here. It's about maybe 15 minutes from me, and they grow organic fruits and vegetables over there. And like a place like that, going locally and buying your fruits and vegetables would be probably even a better step. But if you could get organic from the grocery stores whenever, I would definitely recommend it. That's what I do on it with everything. So, yeah, different nuts have different health benefits. The video I put out today was simply on pistachios. And I remember there was a vegan book I was reading, and I never knew this. And I've always loved pistachios, especially those barbecue pistachios. I have 2 servings every day. That with my popcorn is my last meal, and usually I'll do a Greek yogurt and a little hemp hearts or something or seitan. But they have been shown in numerous studies uh, to help men with erectile dysfunction. And like the study, it's like something like 75% of men in the study. Like, it was a pretty strong number, and because they increased nitric oxide with some of the stuff in them. And it's like, so there, another good nut though is Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are very high in selenium. You only need to even eat 1 or 2 Brazil nuts uh, to get your daily recommended value of selenium. In getting your vitamins from foods like that just hit different than, even though I take a whole food multivitamin, and those are way better than the tablet vitamins. It's still good to get your vitamins and your micronutrients from fruits and vegetables, and then and the foods, the plant-based foods that you can. Looking on. No, so honey is not vegan. And there's different videos and theories on it, but there's I don't know a ton about it, but I've seen enough of the videos of how bees um, are essentially uh, treated, and how they take their honey and then replace it with a sugar syrup deal that is not doesn't have the nutrients they need. Um, and I don't consume any honey. Like, I would always tell people that is like agave nectar is a something to replace honey with, if you're vegan on that. But that's not to say that you can't have honey as part of, like, and honey has a lot of health benefits with it, but I think there's a difference between how, getting your honey, regardless of getting honey, though, you're doing it at the expense of something else. when we just don't need to. But everyone's going to have their own theories on that. And yeah, my whole mindset is on anything. I was like, we have all the foods on the planet that we need, that we don't have to kill anything. And we are healthier. We can be bigger, stronger, and faster. The biggest, strongest animals on the planet are all vegan. And I'm seeing myself and the improvements I'm making, and I just go, it just makes too much sense. And I love the diet so much more than I mean, eating is so much more exciting to me now than it ever was, because food fuels me in such a better way, that in my outlook on everything, and you just become, I really believe you become more open-minded and compassionate over time, is when you make the switch, and we're not eating all the hormones and antibiotics and the animals and the fear and the cortisol of them with that whole system. So, and I really, that's like everything, just my mood and my outlook on everything is even better than it was. But Instagram, TikTok, what do we got going on? I talk about TikTok juicing fruits and vegetables in the beginning of the broadcast here. Let's see. I don't know, Brandon. I don't understand what you mean. Thoughts on normal workers under 15K a year, Ryback. If you could just add a little more to that, I'll be able to try to talk about it. If you want to lose weight, basal metabolic rate calculator, and you need to start tracking your calories, and you need to start doing at-home workouts, I recommend going to Pinterest. Ryback's Feed Me More Nutrition on Pinterest. And we have a lot of really good body weight exercises and things you can do. It's simply a matter of getting hungry and choosing that regardless of having a gym or not, you're going to exercise, you're going to work out, and you're going to achieve your goals regardless of the situation of the gym. Books I recommend if you're depressed: The Secret, The Power, the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, and Be Obsessed or Be Average. Those 4 books. Also, I'm reading right now multiple times The 5 Thieves of Happiness. Absolutely tremendous book. I have done spicy noodles on the Ryback TV feeding time videos. Yeah. Why do you drive to the gym to get on a treadmill? Well, because the treadmill can have an incline for starters. You could do incline work. You could do a lot of different things. The gyms have a lot more than treadmills as well. Also, running on treadmills have a little bit of give, depending on or like the kind I have, the Assault Runner. Some gyms have those with the curved treadmill that are just better for your joints than running on pavement as well. So it depends. As far as it depends what you're going to the gym for, right? You need to lose 12 pounds easily. Again, so in that comment, having a lazy mentality, and you need to learn language. Unlike, it's how do I lose 12 pounds? I really want to lose 12 pounds. I'll do anything to lose 12 pounds in a healthy manner, right? Regardless of how hard it is. Things take work on that. And you're saying, like, how do I do it easily? Everything takes work on that. And depending on your mindset, that determines how easy something is. What I'm going to recommend, our Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner, can increase your metabolism up to 15% with the ingredients we use, like matcha green tea, green coffee bean, cayenne pepper, ginger, small amount of caffeine, L-carnitine, acai berry, things of that nature. Also, I would add into your diet, I would order some dandelion extract off of Amazon, as well as start adding some asparagus into your daily diet. Asparagus is known as a diuretic that can help get rid of excess water from excess sodium as well. So I would add that into your routine and increase your cardio output or physical activity daily until you reach your goal. You could use the Feed Me More Nutrition plant powered I So Hungry cookie, caramel cookie protein is a shake. But again, if you're just having a shake, you're getting some vitamins in that with that. It has a good amount of iron actually in it as well. But it's low carbs on that. And I always recommend if you're having a protein shake, as long as you're getting your nutrients in other meals, it's fine to just have a shake. And that's what I do. I have a shake with my weight gainer and also organic natural peanut butter for my pre-workout. That's my second meal of the day always, unless I am doing the day off in a feeding time video, and then I don't do the shake on that for the second meal with that. But if you're not getting enough, you want to maybe have it with something else and just to get some nutrients as well. So Silva Surfer says, "Hey Ryback, if you were on a desert island, and it was you or the cow, would you eat it?" No, you know what? I'm at a point where I would just accept death because I'd be like, well, if I eat this cow, then I'm alone, and then I'm just going to die by myself. I'd rather we just die together, petting the cow. Honestly, that's how I look at it. Like, because you're just going to kill it for fear of, I could fast. You could fast for a long time too on that. But it's that's obviously though one of those situations where, like, what if you were stranded on a desert island and it was you or the cow, or you if you eat the cow and then help is coming at a certain period of time, ideally though you could fast for a long period of time on that and be fine. So also, if we're on an island, there would be food. There'd be other food, no doubt. I would eat shrubs. I would find a way. If not, just die. What else? Like, you're gonna die anyways. So it's like, what are you gonna kill a cow and eat it? Eat the bloody flesh and sitting there and have to kill the cow and watch it suffer to then die, later at a later date by yourself. I just recently heard of that G Fuel, and I think it's just simply a really crappy online energy thing being marketed towards gamers. Zero benefits. It's just it doesn't use natural sweeteners or colors. It's great marketing towards that genre of video gamers with just literally their version of a Red Bull. I wouldn't give up my vegan diet for $1 million. That's child's play. Absolutely not. Hello. And you're sacrificing your health in the long run for that. We've got another super chat. Super chats get pulled up on the screen. Always thankful for the Starbucks money. One-legged pimp. Good to see you again, my man. Hey, Ryback. Hope you had a great day. I did. Question: what is best for building lean muscle mass? Lightweight, high reps, or heavy weights, low reps? And can it be done on a deficit on keto? So I've always found in my experience and from everything I've seen, building maximum muscle, dense, thick muscle, really in the 4 to 6 rep range is that sweet spot. I'm big on a combination of training in that 8 to 12, 10 to 12, and then getting some sets in at that 4 to 6, and still really with good form and really, really squeezing the muscle still is what has always done me best and when I've looked my best. And that comes into then conditioning and your caloric intake and being lean has nothing to do with the amount of reps you're doing. You're simply you're lifting weights to build muscle, and there's various ways to do that. And it's if you're hitting fatigue at 15 reps on that, and you could that's not going to help you be more shredded necessarily. The only thing that if you're burning more calories working out at a higher rep than you were at lower reps for somehow and doing more sets over a period of time, um, and you were somehow burning more calories than that, then you would be leaner doing that. But I think through calorie restriction and doing it the proper way in small increments over a period of time, in building maximum muscle. Again, I like a combination, but where you're getting to failure on the reps, where sometimes on the lighter stuff, it's harder to gauge that. That's why going heavier, it's a lot easier to gauge muscle failure at 4 reps than it is at 15 reps. And you could do it. You could try. You go train something at 15 reps, and you'll be like, "Oh, you missed. You have a lot more in you, right?" Or I got to go heavy. You're playing around with it. Where that 4 to 6 rep, it's a little quicker to gauge that to training to failure on that. But if you're training on a deficit on the keto diet, um, you're never going to build as much muscle in a deficit than you are if you have a surplus of calories in you. But you're going to be getting leaner, and you can gain a certain level of muscle on that. Still depends where you're at, and honestly, in the whole process, how developed you are to begin with, right? If you're newer, if you've been training for many years, there's a lot of factors that go into that. Yeah, the JC character. Um, I've always said there's stuff. Obviously, anyone that's been in the business that long is going to be knowledgeable on aspects of the business, especially during their time there. And I think too, as the longer you're away from the business, you can also things change, and you could also you're on the outside looking in, but all I could do is speak from experience. He came up to me and introduced himself many years ago, and seemed very nice. And then I saw he just went and he's just done nothing but say negative, hateful things, and that are straight up lies on me personally with that. And he just seems like a very bitter, angry person in general. Whether he is or isn't, it could all be an act for a show. I just think that's not an ideal way to make money. Um, on it, but he seems to talk bad about a lot of current wrestlers and things, and it is what it is. It's none of my business, quite frankly. Honestly, I don't care to the point like I'll never lose any sleep over it. I just know anyone. That's why I can discredit people pretty quickly when I know they're talking about lies with me, and so I already know. I go, if they're lying about me, what else are they? You know, they're just clueless on. That's like the Meltzer guy. He's done nothing but put out lies time and time again. I just go, it discredits everything to me outside of them giving actual factual numbers on things. But I do think Jim is very insightful on aspects of the business, and I can decipher that between him and his personal attacks on people and whatnot. But he has a show where, and people that listen, that kind of a just hateful, negative vibe. And I've seen it because I see the comments where I've had to block people and whatnot. And that's why I always tell people that listen to me, don't go attack those people. Don't go leave negative comments. Don't get caught up in that world. Just block them and move on. Nothing's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. In fact, when I go back, it's probably going to go to all-time highs of the hate. And and that's just what happens. All I can control is my life and the people around me, and trying to help people and do good things and grow my brand and my business. And with that success, there's going to come a lot of hate with that. And you see it with people that are massively successful. So, and it's your choice if you want to listen to people like that. But I think it's like anything you listen to with music, from the television shows we watch, what we put in our brain is influencing us. And if you're listening to somebody that is of a very negative mindset, even if you think it's just humorous and funny and you don't take it seriously, you're still putting that in your brain. And believe it or not, it will affect your outlook over time on things. Carlos with a good question. What should I do if constipation is getting in the way of my eating? Is it my diet? Yes, it's your diet. You need more fiber. And fiber is the one thing that many people are lacking in eating a lot of processed foods and that don't have high fiber content. Fruits and vegetables, a vegan diet is one of the reasons why it increases your metabolism when you do it properly. Is you're getting a surplus of fiber. We are meant to have a lot of fiber. Fiber helps us lose weight, and it's not the same taking a fiber supplement. You want to get your fiber from real food. So I would start looking at some of the plant-based foods and fruits and vegetables. Things like flax seeds. What else has? I'm trying to see organic flax seeds. I put like 3-4 servings of that on my meals now throughout the day. Which flax seeds are great for men in general, for prostate health for men in general with the flax seeds. And this is all stuff I've learned just being on the vegan diet and listening to the books. And I go, wow, it's amazing the power food has over our health issues that resolves a lot of things in people naturally with that. Chia seeds, I believe, also have a good amount of fiber. Hemp hearts have some. Trying to think, but when you start adding that stuff into your diet, nutritional yeast has a little bit of fiber. You start upping your fiber content. Nutritional yeast has a good amount, if I'm not mistaken. And it starts, eating beans, and you're eating, some black rice, and you throwing different mixtures of diverse foods, plants, and fruits and vegetables. And then before you know it, you're getting very, very good fiber intake. And like that's one thing on the vegan diet, you will never ever have issues with constipation. You do have issues when you eat a lot of animal and dairy products and the animals are sitting inside of us for 10 days at a pop. That's disgusting, right? No, I don't watch Alex Jones. I don't have a lot of time. I don't watch a lot of TV or anything honestly, I listen to books. I know who he is through Joe Rogan. I've seen some stuff on there. Um, but I haven't. And I'm not like, I don't know. I know people that do listen to him. Like, I don't know enough I don't even know what he talks about in general. I just know he talks about a lot of stuff going on in the world. And I don't know how accurate any of it is or not is. It isn't. I'm not up to date on any of that. Joe Rogan and Hulk Hogan have the same birthday. Thank you for that fact. Did I hear what happened, Alien Jones? What did I hear about Rusev? No, what happened with Rusev? I like Bobby Lashley a lot. Bobby and me have always gotten along very well. Super chat from Matt Helms. Thank you very much, my man. Hello, Ryback. How are you doing? Great day, my man. Another great day. Very thankful. Gonna have a little bit of air pop popcorn with plant-based butter and some barbecue pistachios in a little bit. Maybe a nice ice cold caffeine-free Zevia cola. Watch a few matches on Monday Night Raw to see what's going on. Let's watch a little wrestling and nothing for like storyline, just to watch some matches and hopefully and then do more scar tissue work on my shoulder. Thank you for the questions, guys. I'm trying to see, was there an update on Rusev? I can't tell if I missed that. I'm going to look, aka Miro. Walter says there's a handful of people I've had to have uncomfortable, lengthy chats with that say negative things about you. Please, I don't know, just because I support you, I have to educate them on your story. Yeah, again, that's like That's I don't even know what people would be saying. That there's so many things that people can read, and my thing is, if that's what they're doing and they're getting their information from, they're lost causes already on it. I already know, but typically with this, what's going to happen is, as I've won everything, I'm going to win the Ryback trademark, and I'm going to return back. The story is going to get told on a major platform, and a lot of people are all of a sudden going to become massive Ryback fans again. And I already know. And I'm not worried about. But with that, there's going to be a large portion of people that still will hate me on it, and I could care less. That's them. That's a reflection of their mindset, and it has no bearing on anything I do with my life. And I just literally focus on my life, being happy, and my goals. And those people are always going to be chirping and making noise. People, you look at the way that I look. So many people can't grasp that this guy being on TRT looks the way that I look and doesn't. They massive amounts of steroids and this and that. Oh, you're vegan. No, you use steroids and that. Like, I've dealt with it since I was a kid, literally since I was a kid. I'm immune to it at such a level that I'm like, where it's just like, nope, that's them. They could think I can't control 8 billion brains. I can control my brain and just live my life and just be a good person as much as possible, work hard, try to be nice to people. But if people disrespect me where in person or in something where I got to defend myself, well, goddamn, I got to defend myself. But I try not to get caught up in the BS and that. And I would say too, with the people like that, let them think what they want to think. I would value your time more where you don't even, because at the end of the day, how much time do you have to devote to talking to somebody from them to convince them? Well, literally, I guarantee you their arguments are all made up lies, all made up lies. It always is. It's never, if no one ever comes at me with facts on it, and it's because they've read something online or some this and that, and it's very easy to dismiss on my end. What happened to Miro? That's what I want to know. What happened to Rusev? Trying to see if there's any other good questions. Of course, I remember Ryback. Ryback. What is my favorite movie with Adam Sandler? Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore that's a Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore all the way. What a movie that was. Happy Gilmore was. I wish they would do a remake of Happy Gilmore. That movie is, man. If that movie's on, I'm in a good mood. Whatever happened to Ezekiel Elliott? They abandoned the Feed Me trademark, and it's going to be awarded to me because it is the Feed Me phrase is feed me more. You can't trademark a phrase within a phrase. So that is nothing, and that did not cost me anything. And it was simply that is it's over and done with. So I don't have no harsh feelings. I just don't think that. I think, regardless of if I ever went back to wrestling or not, I have a brand and an identity built around that that is growing. And to try to step in, it doesn't matter who and what you are, and to steal part of someone's brand, and then people defending that, I'll block that all day long and just win, and then go back and keep winning at a massive level. Very disrespectful, though. How to build a six pack? I would it's all going to come down to your diet. And I would add in Ab Ripper X, the Athlean X Ab app, and maybe weighted abs once a week. But I would do abs twice a week, really hard. Mason Ryan, what happened to Mason Ryan? Mason Ryan actually, if I'm not mistaken, lives here in Vegas and works for Cirque du Soleil. I don't know why I said it like that. I always had trouble pronouncing it Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil, where I believe he's one of the bases and like holds people and does really cool feats of strength. With that, Mason was always a fantastic human being, very nice guy, and He very nice guy, too nice for pro wrestling too. And I'm very happy. I hope he's doing well. I was never like overly close. We always got along actually. Barry Griffiths, and Barry's a very nice guy. I don't think he looks like he looked in WWE though. I saw some pictures of him, and he's still in great shape though. And to do that though, the strength is you have to be an incredible balance and strength to do a lot of the stuff he does now. And Mason looked like Batista. I think that they looked quite a bit different actually, especially with the. But I mean, yeah, I know he got it from the beginning with that, and unfortunately, being a foreigner, and I don't know. He just never he didn't have a lot of opportunities also to stand out and to grow individually. I think if he would have been on the road on WWE TV for a few years, he would have found his identity. I believe he would have, and with the way that he looks, and he was always getting better too, and he was good. He was always getting better, but there was a lot of room to grow too on that. Sometimes with guys like that, he's a big monster, but he maybe doesn't realize he's a big monster. And there's a way to work and a way that you got to put together matches knowing that. Otherwise, guys just put matches together with you like you're a 140-pound guy. And if you don't know how to protect yourself, nobody else is going to, because they're going to take advantage of being able to, you know what I'm saying? There was some, and he got thrown up there. And when you're new, you go along with things. Whereas I learned, and after my ankle injury, it was fuck everybody. I'm going to go get over. And that's what it takes to go get over. And I was taught that by some of the best. And that's not being disrespectful. And you actually be respectful, but you got to know who and what you are. And that's where in the psychology of putting together matches and knowing, that's like if, you don't know that, and he goes up there and they put him in a match with Adam Cole, and Adam Cole is throwing him all around, and because Mason doesn't know better, right? And doesn't say no to it. You know what I'm saying? Then that kills him. And in Vince's eyes, that he can't invest in you because you don't know how to protect yourself. So there's a lot that goes into that with knowing how to protect yourself at different times. Super chat, one-legged pimp. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chats today, guys. Always a welcomed addition to the Ryback Show. Oral sessions. Shout out to Mox. Thank you. One more question. What would you say is the best way to calculate optimal protein intake to build muscle mass? Playing around with different numbers. I found though we don't need as much protein as what they've always told us. I think though, you simply have to. There's no way you could just read something and go, oh, I need 1.2 grams per pound of body weight or 2 grams per pound of body weight. I would say start at the higher end though. Maybe you do start at 2 grams per pound of body weight, or 1.5 grams, say, somewhere in the middle, and literally see how you're building muscle over a period of time. Then adjust it and adjust your macros and do 2 grams per pound. And then maybe you do 1 gram, and maybe you do each for 3 months. And you got to just go by how you feel, how you're building muscle, and you're going to get a pretty good gauge on what you need, on where you look and feel your best. And that's the key to a lot of this stuff. Is it's not just doing what I do. It's taking this information and then start applying it and realizing that you might hit it though right away. And you might then on 2 grams, you're like, oh, I don't like this. This is too much. And then you might just go back to 1.5, and that you just got your sweet spot, right? But you got to play around with it. And you got to train, and you got to assess things over a period of time. And we are very, very good at internally kind of having a gauge on that. And obviously then if you're competing or doing different things, you got to get a little more scientific and really, really track things at a little more consistent level, because you're dealing with getting body fat down to a certain percentage where every little bit matters. And you can't really you got to really just kind of stick to a program on that, right? So it depends on what you're doing too. RO Wrestling, Ryback, you're such a great podcast host, man. I love what you're doing in your life. You brought back the memories from the funny segments in WWE. Good seeing you, man. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to doing more. We'll have more guests on again at different points when I'm back wrestling. The daily shows won't be able to be done daily, obviously, on that. But I'll still do these when I can. And I think when I could obviously schedule somebody on, it'll be a little easier to have a guest on here and there. I don't want to do it all the time. But I think just for the listeners, it's nice to have a guest every once in a while. And I understand that, even though I don't enjoy it as much sometimes, even though I enjoy talking to people, just scheduling. I don't enjoy scheduling. It's nightmare. Will I ever go into movies? Again, that's going into movies. I think you never say never. I think obviously, I think there would be a massive opportunity for that. I think I'm well suited to do that. It's all a matter of getting my health back, going back to wrestling first, growing Feed Me More Nutrition, and this is obviously growing, but like to take this to a very, very high level. And then I think once back on TV wrestling, if the right opportunities present itself and it's able to be done. But I tell you, I'm so content and happy. Like if it was something that said, "Hey, we got this role for you. You got to be gone for 4 months. You can't go home," or you have your business, but you're going to make $5 million. But I have my business, I have pro wrestling, and I'm making a ton of money already, and I could be around my dogs. I'm going to just choose to probably be around my dogs because that's what makes me happy. And I would just be sad being away from them. But whereas it's something where if you need the money, that's a different situation. Well, there's sacrifices you have to make to ensure your survival long term. You know what I mean? So like those are things. I'm not the kind of person where I need to be seen or famous. It's great, and I understand it, and it's good, especially when you want to do a lot of good and having to be able to be seen by people. But if I'm already being seen by people and I have a happy life, then I'm like, that's kind of how I look at things. But if it's something where it's not where I'm able to be home still and the schedule is flexible, always stay open to anything. Yeah. Walter, as far as your mom taking the prescription stuff, again, that has to come from her doctor, which it depends on her doctor and what kind of doctor she has. I simply can't answer that. Very sad Goldberg is done. I've not heard anything on Goldberg being done. Hello, hello. Great to see you guys. As always, guys, this podcast is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com. Premium supplements for men and women. Check us out on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% with discount code Ryback Show 20, Ryback Show 20 for all orders on feedmemore.com to save 20%. We're going to wrap up tonight. I got to get some more work done here. I got to get the dogs out real quick and get a few other things done, more scar tissue work as well, and make my final meal of the evening and watch a few matches over here in Casa de la Big Guy. Thank you guys very much, though. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay hungry, my friends. Feed me more.